Hey guys, my name is Harry Dell and I'm coming at you with another video here on Boxing Chat. So let's go ahead and start off with Sean Porter beating Malignaggi in a very one-sided fight. It lasted only 4 rounds. Porter took out Malignaggi very quickly and very easily. He did what he had to do. He boxed when he needed to box. When he wanted to be the aggressor, he would do it. When he wanted to be more defensive to lure Paulie in, he'll do that. He'll counter Paulie's jab very well. And he'll come in with different leads. Either the straight left lead, either the jab, double jab, or the lead right hand. And even that leaping left hook that was just rocking Paulie for those 4 rounds. He was putting everything in those shots. And he went out there to make a statement for us to realize that he is a good fighter and that he still has more to grow, and he's a force to be reckoned with in the future. Now, I've been seeing a lot of people now mentioning him with Pacquiao, Bradley, Guerrero, Brook, Thurman, Mayweather, Maidana. Any of the guys that are in the top 10 at welterweight, people want to see him against any one of those guys. But the one that I've been hearing the most is him versus Thurman, because you know Thurman's fight is next week, and if he wins, people are going to want to see that fight, and people are calling for it now. Here's the problem. Porter and Thurman, both sides, both camps, they know that they can make a lot of money fighting each other in the future. Not now, not this year, but in the future. When? Not too long from now. I would say probably around the end of next year. And let me tell you why. Porter, a young champion that is not in his prime yet, still growing, still has unanswered questions to a lot of the boxing community. And Keith Thurman, a lot of people believe he still has not been tested, and we don't know what he's really all about. So both camps know, well, why are we going to eliminate each other now when we could set ourselves up for a mega fight between the two of us for later on in the future? Because if Porter, fights, let's say, Brook next, because that's what is expected from what was in the contract. Let's say he fights Brook and he wins, and then he fights another fighter, let's say Marquez, because Marquez was interested in fighting Porter. Marquez doesn't want to fight Pacquiao, but yet he wants to be the welterweight champion before he retires. So that's a possible fight, because we can't forget that Porter is actually a free agent, so he could go with Top Rank, he can go with Golden Boy. So a Marquez fight is actually a possibility. And let's say Porter wins that fight too. And let's go to the Keith Thurman side. Let's say he wins next week, and he goes on to face the winner of, let's say, Amir Khan Colazo. If he gets the winner and he wins, his stock starts to build up more. Let's say they pair him up with somebody else, Robert Guerrero or anybody. Once these two guys start fighting the rest of the welterweights and they keep winning, they're pretty much setting themselves up for a collision course to a mega fight between two guys that, by the time that will happen, they'll be around the beginning of their prime years. So for them to fight each other now, they know that that's not going to happen. They don't want to eliminate each other, because both of them ultimately want that Mayweather fight. So if both guys start eliminating the rest of the welterweights that are in the top 10, eventually Floyd's going to have to pick either one of them, because Porter Thurman will most likely end up within the top 3 right under Floyd. So pretty much it's going to be a matter of, hey Floyd, take your pick. Which one do you want, 2 or 3? But if Floyd doesn't fight either one of them before he retires, then they still have each other to fight, and it will still be a huge fight for them, because by the time that happens, Thurman would have a fan base, Porter will have his fan base. It'll be split, and it'll be exciting to see them finally collide when they have passed all their tests, when they have answered all our questions, when they have left no room for doubt. I mean, it's going to be a huge fight. But with all that being said, I would not be opposed to them fighting this year. I mean, as a boxing fan, that's a great fight. That is just action-packed fight. But because everybody likes to throw the word around business out there, and it's a business first, and it's, you know, we got to get the money right and all this bullshit. Because Floyd Mayweather, he says it's a business. Because like a lot of you guys say, hey, this is prize fighting. When your fighter that you root for, when your fighter that you go for says that, you know, it's all good. But when it has nothing to do with any of the fighters that you like or a fighter that you hate on, then it's just pretty much called ducking. Hey, I'm pretty sure these two guys want to fight each other, but they want to do it at the right time, when there's a lot of money involved, when it's not just a fight, it's an event, when the world is talking about it, when the fans are split. Because these two guys, they're right around the same age, mid-20s, and they're not even at their prime yet, and they're already making a lot of noise, and they're looking very good. So once they get in their primes and they start beating the rest of these guys, and pretty much they'll be the pioneers of a new generation of welterweights. And you know, we could be seeing an era of, you know, the next 7-8 years of them fighting each other. But for now, I think they need to go ahead and fight the rest of the guys that are in the top 10, and eventually meet up probably around the end of next year. I mean, just because I say the future and just because the fight shouldn't happen now, that doesn't mean that the fight should happen fucking 2-3 years from now. I'm talking about the end of next year, because I'm pretty sure Porter and Thurman are going to fight at least 3 times this year. And then by the time the end of next year rolls around, they'll have, you know, at least 5 fights, and you know, most likely those will be against top guys. And if they win, which I think they could, because a lot of people believe that both of these guys can beat anybody in the welterweight division, and also even including Floyd, a lot of people believe that as well. But I want to know what you guys think. I had actually mentioned this to Ego earlier on his Instagram, because he posted up a, you know, an Instagram photo of it's actually a repost that a graphic that he did of Porter versus Thurman, pretty much telling everybody that, oh, I told you so, and y'all should have listened to me, and blah 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 blah. Pretty much, you know, he acts like he thought about this fight before anybody else did, which is not the case, because if you're a hardcore fan, you know, we make up these matchups before they're even talked about. So he pretty much just laughed off the point I was trying to make, as far as, you know, it makes more sense business wise, because that's what all the fighters think nowadays, and that's what Floyd thinks. Hey, but it's his opinion. He's a boxing fan, so it's fine with me, you know, but stating the obvious doesn't make you a boxing expert. I mean, from what I've heard in the interviews with both camps, that's what it looks like they're going to do. Because you could easily say, oh, the winner fights Mayweather. Yeah, there you go. It's all done. You know, it doesn't work like that. Because both of those guys know that if they fight each other and they eliminate each other, you know, they don't want that, because they both want the Mayweather fight. So they're pretty much going to keep winning, and they're pretty much going to basically have Mayweather in the corner and, you know, kind of force him to pick either one of those guys. Because if they keep winning and look impressive, you know, the fans will be asking for it, just like they were doing with Pacquiao, you know, 4 or 5 years ago. But I'm going to go ahead and end it like that, guys. So thanks for tuning in. Until next time, see you later.